Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano and Bitcoin, I would say today. Live stream looking at the Tokyo project. I have two of the founders on with me. They have been on the channel before. I got to meet them over in Dubai at the Cardano Summit. Great to get to meet these two guys in person. Please do share this out. If you have questions about Tokyo or about Bitcoin, Cardano, how all that type of stuff is going to work, let us know down below. The more questions, comments, everything like that we get, I find the better the conversation we can have here. For me, the primary goal is to pull as much information and leaks out of these two guys as possible and give me a better overview of how the UI UX will work between Cardano and Bitcoin. But guys, very welcome. Thanks for taking the time to come on.
What can I say, Paul? You're asking for alpha. We haven't even started.
Straight in with the punches.
Always good to speak to you. I know we've been on the channel before. We absolutely love your work. It's a great voice for Cardano, so it's thrilled to be here.
Yeah, g'day, Paul. Thanks for having us as well, mate. And it was amazing having a chat and a couple of beers with yourself and the lads in Dubai a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, good to talk again.
Yeah, definitely. It was great just being out in Dubai, being able to meet so many people like yourselves face to face and just have that conversation, because it's so different than talking here like this. But even these conversations are a lot easier or better because you know the person a bit more now after having met them. So I think that's what these kind of conferences are about for me, as well as the information you get at them. It's about the connections you can make with people there. See, we have some fans of the Tokyo UI here as well. Anyone who hasn't tried it, it is live on Android. I kept nagging at you for a long time to get Android. Android is out now, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Yeah, we've been out for a good 4 weeks now, and it was a record build as well. So I'd just like to shout out to the team as well. We've got Chase, Gavin, Lux, who are absolutely top full stack developers, very experienced in the ecosystem, and they've just done a stellar job with actually delivering a product. And again, without our beta testers or the great community that provide amazing feedback back to us, we wouldn't be able to reciprocate. So look, just a combined shout out to both of those parties. Really appreciate it.
Nice. And actually, I see questions coming in already about Bitcoin side of things, but taking a step back, just in case people haven't heard of Tokyo before, what is Tokyo? Which he wants to give the overview, and then we'll get into where you are and what's happening.
It's an interesting question because we've always called it a wallet, but we recently posted something today where it was called a super wallet. We're looking for or super dApp. We're really not sure quite what to term it, but we kind of looked broadly at the mobile experience, on Cardano, and looked at the existing wallet environments here in cross-chain as well. Tokyo was always built as a cross-chain product, and we're entering different ecosystems. But we looked at products like MetaMask, and obviously they were one of the first wallets. But the functionality on something like MetaMask was standard send and receive functionality, maybe some transactions, but you could also see things like your NFTs, but you couldn't do anything with those. We really wanted to bring an experience into a mobile device and soon to be desktop too, that meant that you didn't have to have multiple tabs open. So, the current experience is that, you have Tap Tools open, JPEG Store open, maybe Dex Hunter open, and then a wallet. We have combined and brought all of that into a single experience where we can provide you with simple and super fast onboarding. We can also do things like allow you to deal with and handle your NFTs. So we aggregate all the NFT marketplaces. Shout out to Cash from Way Up, JPEG Store. So we aggregate those marketplaces and let you do things like strike live market offers. We also get into to token swaps as well. So we will give you, not only can we do token swaps that some wallets have advanced to, but we create a really great experience for trading inside the phone. So you can see live buy and sell orders that we read directly off chain. You can also see pretty sophisticated charting, so you can see the market movements. You can do swaps. Yeah, so we've really built that into one place. You couple that with things like online or on-chain invoices for payments, which is extending on kind of a real-life experience as well that you get from normal banking apps, and then a pretty sophisticated dApp browser wrapped into one. So that's all a bit of a mouthful, but we're very proud of what we've built, and the response from the community has frankly been overwhelming.
Yeah, so it's just to sum it up for people, it's like you want people to be able to use your wallet and not need to go off to every other resource. Everything that they need for their general day-to-day interactions with crypto, they can get in the wallet.
Yeah, and from a wallet perspective, it is the first thing that people tend to do as they start to interact with the ecosystem. The first thing you do is download a wallet. And look, for that, we wanted to make something super, super simple, really simplify it down. I remember when I first came to crypto, it took a good 3 to 6 months to actually get my bearings and have a good understanding of the DApp ecosystem. We really see the wallet as a role to not only educate, but to step people up and through into that ecosystem in a guided fashion. And that's the philosophy that we'll end up taking, or that we've done on Cardano. And we also want to sort of bring that philosophy and implement that across chain. So a real copy and paste and replicate.
Nice. I see people asking questions about is the Bitcoin OS and Cardano is it basically a merger? It's not a merger between Bitcoin and Cardano. Just to clarify that for people. Bitcoin OS have made developments over on the Bitcoin side that allows you to have, it's still a kind of a bridge, but it's completely trustless using ZK that you can then have your Bitcoin over on Cardano as well. It's not the physical well, nothing's physical in crypto, but it's not the actual Bitcoin. The Bitcoin stays on Bitcoin, but it is locked up and protected by ZK. So then over on Cardano, you can use that to get involved in DeFi. So you can have the best of both. With you guys, I will get into the Bitcoin stuff in a few minutes. I just want to clarify that because I see 2 questions coming in on it already.
It's a hot topic.
Yep, it is. And I think that's where wallets like yourselves that can merge both ecosystems is really important, because at the end of the day, for me, it comes down to the UI and UX. How simple can we make this? I see some people create some brilliant technical solutions and you can do this on that chain and do this over here. But it's like, how can I hand that to my parents or hand it to someone else and say, here, just use this? And it's like, not a chance. They just don't understand it. So that's where the UI, UX, everything that's built on top of that is so important to make it as easy as possible. And that's where teams like yourselves can come into that so that people don't have to understand how the Bitcoin's locked up or what ZK proofs are and all that kind of stuff. Like, they don't care. So it's like,
it's a technical thing. And ultimately, look, it is a very pioneering, I guess, feature that the guys from BOS have actually built. But we are early days. So with respect to seeing any of that materialize and into the wallets and into the dApps, it's just worth, broadcasting to the community. It will take time for those things to come through and for us to actually take advantage of it. But ultimately, it is getting the 2 chains in lockstep, talking together in a very trustless manner. And what comes out of that, it's going to be exciting to see.
Okay. And just from yourselves, have you looked into that side of it yet? I know you have a lot of other stuff going on, which we'll get into, but have you looked at that side yet? Or how are things on the Bitcoin side?
Look, we're accelerating. Like what a lot of people don't know, there's been obviously a lot of hype around, the bridge and around interoperability between, rightly so too, between Bitcoin and certainly layer 2s like Runes. We have actually been working on dropping a Bitcoin wallet and creating interoperability between the chains for a good 3-4 months. So we were actually working on this before the announcements came out. As I mentioned, we were always, destined to be a multi-chain wallet. And, that philosophy came from us driving interoperability. We wanted to introduce users and liquidity to Cardano. Likewise, the Runes community also want to see the same thing. They want greater users. They've got a community over there. Why not bond together and create an environment where we can all work together and prosper? So we always had that philosophy at core. We are close. I don't want to drop Simon's alpha.
No, that's all right.
So we always felt that we're very close to dropping our Bitcoin wallet. I get shot for this kind of thing, but I'm going to say within 7 days.
Oh, here we go.
But we're close. We are imminent. I've actually got it on my phone. I'm using the Bitcoin wallet. So, it's really close for us. We'll start with layer 1 swaps, which will also be live prior to our token launch, which will give that layer 1 Cardano Bitcoin swap. That's the first stop for us. As far as, Bitcoin OS, Shout out to Ingemar. We were very fortunate to have a lunch with him. We're currently in Dubai. He's a great guy and a real visionary. And they really wanted to create that trustless environment and a bridge that was secure. We really enjoyed the chat, and we were encouraged by what's going on, but it is going to take time to put those things in place. But for us, quick priorities after launch will be things like runes and ordinals trading. You'll be able to send and receive runes and ordinals through the wallet, but we'll soon integrate with the DEXs over there. We've got some great conversations which are occurring there already, which will create a trading environment for runes and ordinals. Ultimately, and it is called the Grail Bridge for some reason, but the Holy Grail for us is to create interoperability that not only goes between Bitcoin and Cardano, but Solana and Cardano, the EVM-based chains, SUI, where you can be trading a rune and do a direct swap for a Cardano native token. We feel that creates true engagement.
And I think it's also worth pointing out that what we end up doing is we are presenting. It's hard to. I would have loved to be able to give a bit of a demo, but we'll just have to wait until this is live. But we are presenting the runes and the ordinals side by side to the Cardano CNTs, to our NFTs as well. And all that's going to do is elevate our ecosystem. There's some fantastic businesses that are currently running with tokens on Cardano, and they're often lost. They're not seen. I really feel that we're the first wallet that's actually of a tier 1 standard that's presenting or pedestaling that economy. So as people naturally come into the ecosystem, they're depositing their Bitcoin into Tokyo. The first thing they're going to be seeing is the Cardano tokens, and I just think that's bullish for the entire ecosystem. And where we see and work with the businesses, and I often feel that they're left out in a big way, and we're proud to be in a position to really shine a light on that.
Also, just to add, using my own frustrations, I've got Xverse over on Runes, which is not a bad wallet. It's okay. I've got Phantom, which is a good wallet and has a great trading experience. Again, I'm pretty biased, but I don't think it's as good as our product. But in saying that, I'm looking at multiple balances on multiple devices and switching between dApps, to have a side-by-side situation where you can see a global portfolio view of all of your assets and kind of get a singular trading experience is what our ethos is. That's something that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think it's great to hear that all of that is in the pipeline, and actually that on the 14th of November next week, we're going to have the Bitcoin wallet too. Just put that date out there for people when you say 7 days.
Could be before.
Did he say 7? Yeah, it could be before. It could be slightly after. But let's wait and see.
We're promising to launch. So prior to launch, that's up.
Yeah. So just to take a step back on one thing you said there, I think is very important, is being able to do the cross-chain swaps too. Is that when people come in with Bitcoin and being able to, did you say on the layer 1 level first, they'll be able to swap so Bitcoin to ADA?
Absolutely, it's something that we're finalizing right now to a good degree. But look, at the moment the wallet will support Bitcoin and ADA, and bridging those or swapping between the two is something that's happening directly through the wallet. And look, we're working through the commercials to make sure that's an extremely cheap and competitive rate as well. Look, I'm the type of trader that will hunt out every cent, right? If it's cheaper somewhere else, I'll take the punt and take the time and wait for the transfers to occur and look for the better rate. And that's something we're extremely interested in doing, in making sure that it is also capital efficient as well. So the swaps are occurring at breakneck speed, but also at a very market competitive rate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. It's good to hear that you're behind the scenes building that, so then we don't have to do that because you're doing that, and I presume building that into Tokyo then. So we as users just go there, and we know that you've done the work behind the scenes to get them competitive rates. Will that transition then to allow people to swap? So you're highlighting a lot of the Cardano projects. Will people be able to swap the likes of Bitcoin into native assets, or I know that's more complex than
it is a bit more complex. Look, we could end up doing it in a two-hop process and effectively hide the exchange within a wallet. So from day 0, just to be clear, you'll be able to bring Bitcoin into the wallet, traded for Cardano in a single transaction, and then it will be a subsequent transaction for the CNTs. But there's a number of different, and this is day zero. We work very fast, but there's a number of different ways in which we could end up making that a lot more streamlined, as you're probably alluding to, Paul. And we're also working closely with these bridging technologies as well to make sure that that's also done in a trustless way as well. So look, it won't be there for day zero, but again, that is a holy grail. We don't want any resistance in between the coin exchanges. And as far as we can tell, the technology's there or will be there very shortly to facilitate that. Ultimately, I'd like to see a CNT swap for a layer 2 a CNT swap for a Rune or an Ordinal or a BRC20 token. And also for that to be completely abstracted from the user. So whatever token to whatever token is where we want to end up. When that actually occurs is something that we'll be tracking very tightly, but we're all over it.
Yeah, I know from behind the scenes and looking at the tech side of things, from other things I'm involved in, it's not the simplest process. There's a lot to it. And again, the end user, like we were talking about at the beginning, the end user doesn't really care about how it works underneath. If it works for them on the top level and give them a simplified process, that's what we're all after. I think that's how you encourage more and more people to get involved in different ecosystems. Let me see. There was a question from Forrest. Will you be looking at identity in the wallet?
Yeah, and again, we haven't talked too much about that, but absolutely. Being at the summit, and if you were there, the foundation, Cardano Foundation, we're promoting a wallet. They've got the identity wallet there, using a variety of technologies, and that's something that we absolutely see as a responsibility of the wallet. Again, a big point of resistance in dealing with the dApps and perhaps even some of the public sales, right, is the need at times to KYC to multiple sort of endpoints, right, or end applications. I certainly don't like entering my details everywhere I go. And that's the proposition that having an identity within the wallet will allow. And again, I try not to use a technical word, but it's the ZK proofs and possibly Midnight that will come out and support all of that. But ultimately, the wallet is the spot where your identity should be housed. And I know there's a lot of work going on in the background to allow that trustless exchange of identity. The example that might make it a lot more real for a lot of other people is the proof that you're over 18, or proof that you're over 21 if you're in America. But being able to actually prove that without throwing your details around the internet, that's the proposition that we're gunning towards. So identity is a big thing. Look, we're in the R&D stage from a Tokyo point of view, picking the best solution, but that's something that we'll look to bring out as soon as possible. But dare I say, it'll be either quarter 1 or quarter 2 next year.
Look, it's an aggressive roadmap. What can I say?
Yeah.
So look, the amount of integrations and feature offers that come to us have been astounding. As we've been getting a really great product, it has. We've one of the great things about it is we've had introductions to incredible products and incredible teams. We've always seen the Tokyo wallet as an ability to, I suppose, act as a display case in a really responsible way for a really great product. So yeah, look, we'll continue to explore that. And as Simon said, we've been talking about identity for a while, and it's something that is exciting. So yeah, I hope that answered it.
Yeah, one thing one of the things I really like about what you guys are doing is you're not trying to recreate the wheel every time. If another project is doing something, that rather than you having to go and build it from scratch yourselves, you look at how you can get that partnership and integrate that into your own product, because that means you can offer far more features rather than if you have to build everything from scratch, maintain everything yourself, then that's a lot of work on the dev side. So you can create these partnerships. I think that's really good. It's a really good approach to have. We've touched, actually, I'm going to do just answer this question because it's kind of on, I think this is related back to what we were talking about with Bitcoin. If the Bitcoin is bridged, it is a bridge. I suppose that's the term that most people will be more familiar with. If it's brought from Bitcoin over to Cardano in the new trustless way, then the TVL will still sit on Cardano because you have an asset on Cardano that represents the Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. And then that's used. You could use that in any Cardano DeFi on our side. So that would contribute to the Cardano TVL. So we've talked kind of about Cardano. We talked about Bitcoin potentially dropping next week in the wallet. What's the overall timeline, or what's next for Tokyo?
Well, apart from the product, which is being accelerated at a rapid rate, we've got our token launch coming up. It's on the 19th of November. For the first time ever, we're actually simultaneously, I think it's the first, but we're simultaneously launching a token on as a rune and as a CNT at the same time. This has been driven for a number of reasons, and I've keep getting asked the question, why does a wallet have a token? I kind of want to cover that off. There's a few reasons. And why are we launching multi-chain? I'll deal with that one first. So the multi-chain launch is as we've got deeper into the runes and the Bitcoin community, we've got a very sophisticated reward system, which I'll go through in a second, but they are not as interested sometimes in holding a Cardano or a Cardano native token. As far as why have a token, we see that as an opportunity to reward our community. So 25% of we've created quite a detailed rewards and token utility strategy. 25% of the fees that are generated through any of the swaps that occur in the wallet, or whether it is on and off ramping, we actually have a on ramping through Coinbase. We've got a partnership with them as well. But 25% of the fees generated from wallet usage go back to the community. On top of that, we have also, and we've got some partnership announcements dropping in the next couple of days. Zushan, who's another founder, will kill me if I drop those before he gets a chance to put them in place.
Well, there's not many people listening. You could drop it.
Okay. We can't see that number.
But we've formed some partnerships with some of the strongest deep in projects on Cardano, projects that I've been a real fan of. We have managed to, secure really great deals with those projects, and we will be actually generating rewards for holders, for people who buy the token as part of the token sale and hold the token. So what that's going to mean is that if you use token and you buy the token and you hold and stake that token, you will get rewards paid not on an annual basis as some of these projects do, but on a monthly basis. So we're kind of providing access to early payments coming in through the rewards system. And all you've got to do is hold and stake the token. So, that's part of it. The other part of the token, the reason for a token too, is we want people to be part of an overall community. And it also helps us fund the business for scale. Having a token is not some kind of VC exit plan, or it's not to make us get rich. It's not a great get rich quick scheme by any sense of the imagination. It's actually to invest in things like these deep in projects that we have a lot of respect for, return rewards to the community, reward loyalty for using the wallet, and also give holders access to special features and stuff as they come out. So we're really excited about that. And, look, there looks like there's amazing support for the token at this point. So get behind it. We're certainly really, really excited about it. And, the next couple of weeks is going to see some, I think, really groundbreaking announcements come out. And we've really pushed the envelope there.
Nice. I like the deepen side of things and users can actually, I suppose, users can earn from holding the token and they get exposure to whatever the partnerships are going to be. We're not going to get them here, are we? No. That's so
look, one of them's got an I in it and it ends with an N. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to drop it all. There could be a range of different things. So I think there's a number of tokens with those finishes. So look, we're thrilled with the partnerships that we've developed. We want to, as I said, really, I suppose, elevate projects that we've got a lot of respect for as well. Look, if you look at our DApp browser, for example, and look at the themes that are inside the wallet, I think you've got a Snek theme in there. You've got an Omen theme in there. You've got a Danketsu theme in there. These are all just little innovations that we put together to try to work with and celebrate the community. We on this side, we'll be doing the same thing on the Rune side as well. We've had some amazing conversations over there. The community's been really embracing for us there. So we want to give people access to be part of the Tokyo journey, and holding the token makes that sort of a reality. And we want to generate real tangible rewards for people as well as holding the token and staking it. So more to come. Watch this space.
And just on that, then, will it be more Tokyo token that the users earn, or will they earn the tokens from the projects that you're partnered with?
It's a really good question. Initially, payments will be made out in the native tokens from the projects that we're partnered with, but we are actually, and we've had some really good conversations with Chainport as well. For those that don't know, I think that Chainport has been, creating bridges to a lot of the EVM-based chains for some time. They've got a wrap solution which will see us, which we're exploring with them at the moment, but we'll see us be able to pay tokens out in your token of choice. So ultimately, if we went to Sui, there's a little bit of alpha, just quietly. If we went to Sui, for example, and the community there might want to be paid in a native token, so we will create a reward structure that works for them as well. So it will be a reward structure that is paid in a relevant token, which is great for you.
Yeah, I really like that aspect, in that you see a lot of projects come out and have a token and they pay users rewards for staking, but it's just more of the same token. And all it's doing is actually inflating the token. There's no income streams for the project. Like with you guys, you have the app, you have various different things and more to be added that users will be able to do. There'll be fees generated within the app. So ye as a project are sustainable in the long term, which is something I think lots of projects overlook kind of initially. So I think that's a great aspect to have. And then some of that actually gets paid back to users. So it just creates a whole ecosystem within the project and within what the token is there for. So we heard another blockchain there. I've seen some guesses on the partnership projects in the comments. I'm not going to bring them up, but people can make their own assumptions based on that.
Sorry, we're chasing the sun here a bit.
That's better.
That's better.
Yeah, me in Ireland here, it's cloudy. It's not raining at the minute, so that's a bonus. It's
goodbye, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, can I say that we were outside today, just walking down to get a coffee this morning, and I think it was early 30s this morning. And look, when we got here, it was absolutely sweltering to the point, but you really do adjust. And, getting back to Australia, even though we're sort of coming into, we're sort of coming into our summer there, but really starting to get to enjoy the heat.
Yeah, that heat was crazy. When I was out there, I landed at like 1 a.m. and walked out of the airport, and it was still 28 degrees, I think, at 1 a.m. at night. And I was like, oh, coming from Ireland, I wasn't there long enough to adjust either. But we'll get back to Tokyo here. So what's next? The token sale. We talked a lot about the token, why the token, the economy, and everything that's going to happen there. So what's next then? When is the sale, or what's the details on that?
So the sale is on the 19th of November. Details will follow. We've secured launch pads on both sides. So we'll be publishing those shortly with all of the token details too. So look out for those on our Twitter feed in the next couple of days. In terms of things like, I'd encourage you to go over to tokeopay.io and get into the tokenomics. We spent an enormous amount of time constructing the tokenomics. Everything has been considered. In terms of vesting, the team is locked up for 12 months, which really indicates our faith and the fact that we've committed long term to the project. As far as liquidity is concerned, we've got a very detailed liquidity strategy over there, which has Zappians, which are actually generated by, for those that don't know, that's placements of liquidity. But that's created by a random number generator, which makes it very difficult for people to kind of, I suppose, predict or front run those kind of Zappians as well. So really, really fair there too. Yep, I think you've got it here. We spent time doing it. The reward structure is also very, very clearly laid out there too. So you can see the rewards buckets by holding certain levels of toke that you will get or that you will participate in. So that works really well for us too. So all going really well. We've also just concluded, I just saw it pop up on the screen, an ISPO too. So there was, I think, about 8 million delegated in total, and with ins and outs, much more than that to the ISPO. So those holders will also be participating in token. And by the time the token launches, I think there's about 35,000 holders in total that have already been part of and supporting the project. Our private sale was incredibly well supported. And again, just to highlight this, We run a team of 10 people. There's 4 on Simon's team. We've got Zushan, who is one of our founders, who runs a marketing team. I run the commercial and strategy team as well. So, it has enabled us to build and deliver a really great product. And, something I'd like to, I suppose, highlight is that, I do see some projects around that are coming out now that are conducting token sales and asking for, or wanting to, get projects funded for things that haven't been built. We have a product that's in market, that's built, that's been widely supported, and it's about to drop on Bitcoin too. So we feel that is, a solid investment for people who are looking to support the token. So we'd encourage everyone to get involved.
Yeah, I think that's good. And I know when we first talked months and months ago, and now it was just a token. I think it was going to be governance, but like we went through here, that's evolved a lot now, and it's a lot more in terms of what it can give you access to, as well as being yield bearing for some of the other projects you're involved in. So I think there's a lot of good stuff there. But anything else before we close up? Any other questions? Let us know. If there's no more, we'll wrap it up in the next 5 minutes. But anything else for Tokyo, kind of what's coming, or any of them leaks you want to let out here, or anything like that? We got a few, I think. We didn't do too bad.
Oh, I like it, Paul.
Yeah, sure, Paul. So really happy to take any questions. But, from us, while we're waiting for any to pop up, look, the Tokyo journey is just beginning. As I mentioned, there are multiple chains that we're talking to, and we don't just want to drop a wallet on, for something like Sui, for example, we don't want to just drop a wallet and say that it's available. We really see ourselves as supporting communities. So we want to go in and speak to projects, project founders, the founders of the chain, and see how we can use the technology that we've built to accelerate and really help people. So, we've always come from that sort of aspect. And, we're really fortunate that, Cardano will always be a base chain or a home base for us. We're very, very fortunate to have built. We still strongly believe that Cardano probably holds some of the best technology in the world, and the community, and it's a community of builders, and that's something that we'll always support. So, although we're going cross chain, we're always home based, but it is an expanding product. And yeah, we plan to be on 30 plus chains by the middle of sort of next year.
All right, so I see questions just about open source. It's always a question that comes up is, will any parts of it be open source at some point, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, look, we haven't open source yet, but that is something we are going to do. And look, ultimately that will include both front ends. So we've built it native in iOS and Android. We're still in the process of stabilizing both of those builds and bringing them up to feature parity. Then we'll open up the code to prove to the world that there is nothing nefarious going on, and to show how secure the wallet is to those that have the prying eyes and the understanding to do so. Look, it's worth pointing out that we are already working on a couple of open source libraries. A reason why there hasn't been too much native development on the mobile is because we have been limited in certain areas, excuse me, around the libraries that are available to Cardano. And I mean specifically those that enable transaction building and parsing effectively. So the ability to create a transaction and submit it to the network. We did get funded in Fund 12 or 13. I lose track, but it was the most recent one. I'm pretty sure it's Fund 12. To work on Cardano Swift. So work is actively going on an open source library there as well. So yeah, look, there's various pursuits that we're doing, but ultimately early next year we'll have both the front end for iOS and Android open sourced, or at least code available.
I'm going to give a quick shill here. I just forgot about it, and you've triggered it by the Catalyst mention of Catalyst. For those that don't know, we've currently got a Catalyst proposal in with Mercurio, which is a global payment solution. I think they're in 200 countries, but that is working with Mercurio and MasterCard, which is going to bring the ability to have MasterCards both in Google Pay and Apple Pay, and be able to pay for things, real world products directly with ADA via MasterCard. That Catalyst proposal in itself, they had to have one project to build it with first. We've been working with the guys from Mercurio looking at solutions for some time, and having MasterCard in place, once we build it, and if that Catalyst proposal is funded, that will actually open the doorway to all projects having that same technology built on what we build with Mercurio, at a much cheaper rate. So I think the Catalyst proposal is 200,000 ADA or thereabouts. So once that's in place, the cost for integrating MasterCard into projects around Cardano will be much more affordable, and I'm talking, a 20th of the cost. So I think that's a great advancement as well. So yeah, vote for us.
Great. I think that comes back even to the UI UX we talked about earlier, making it as easy as possible for people on the front end. And that's another aspect of it. So we're looking at getting people into crypto, and I suppose they need card payments to get in there, but even being able to use the crypto that they have then without having to go through the centralized exchanges and cash it out and send it to their bank and things like that. If you can use it in the card and in Google Pay and Apple Pay, then I think that's the process we're all after. It's just making it as simple as possible. And those of us that like to keep most of our funds in crypto, having it a really easy way to use it like that is great.
Awesome.
So I think we've covered a lot today. We went through where you guys are now, the different chains, well, some of them anyway, that you are looking at, and some that are going to come down the road, and some not too far away. Also the token, we went through what it is, the utility, how it's going to be used. We're going to be waiting for the announcements of the projects. Some good guesses here too, to see what's going to be there for yield bearing. I will leave links down below. I think the general links that you have, the the links list, or one of them is listed below that gives all your links, but I will add in the launchpad details when they come out. Actually, Paddy asked there, midnight, is that on the radar as well?
The Shamrock.
Yeah. We are working with the foundation, or IOG. We've got a couple of contacts there, and look, work hasn't started. Again, that's very new technology.
We actually just signed a commercial agreement with Midnight. So Simon wasn't across that one being executed, but we have signed an agreement with Midnight so that the wallet will be featured on Midnight. And look, they're doing a great job over there. Again, privacy is an incredible thing, and is needed in some circumstances, slightly centralized, but I do think it's needed, and there are great use cases. So we're looking forward to capitalizing on that agreement that's signed.
Nice. Good to have Paddy here pulling out one last leak before we wrap it up. But yeah, I think it's great. There's definitely use cases for Midnight. There's still questions about how it interacts exactly with Cardano as a layer one, but as what Midnight, the chain, offers. I think there's definitely lots of use cases there where you do need privacy, where it's like every transaction I send, I don't want everybody to know the wallet that it came from and everything that's in that wallet. So I do see there is definitely use cases for that type of thing. But guys, look, thanks very much for your time. I think we covered a lot here. I will leave the links down below. Questions that anyone has, leave them below. I will try and come back and answer them. If I don't know the answers, I will put them to the team. But I would say follow the Twitter account for you guys, probably Discord and the other socials too. Check them out to stay up to date with everything that's coming, especially over the next week or two. There's going to be a lot happening. Guys, thanks. And actually, I've seen a question asked about were you Aussies? I think
no.
There.
Is it that obvious?
Yeah, we're Australians. We've been away for a while though. Working in Australia and working in crypto can be incredibly challenging with hours. So we're over here to try to, I suppose, engage with as many people simultaneously around the world as possible. But yeah, we're definitely Aussies.
Yeah, I think like the Irish, the accent is a bit of a giveaway most of the time. Them time zones can be.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. As always, great to chat.
Had a great time.
All right, guys, we'll talk soon. Everyone watching, thanks for tuning in. Do share it out. Let people know what's going on here. Any other projects you want to see me bring on. Let me know if you prefer live streams like this where everyone can interact, or the pre-recorded interviews that I do as well. Let us know down below. Subscribe if you're new and give it a like. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.